It's about commitment, healing, honor, respect. This is Barber Life. Cutting hair, I like it. Barbershop, I like it. Change your life, I like it. Conversate, I like it. Peace, family. Let me cut that down. The knob just turn all the way. Yeah, all the way up here. Yep. Peace, family. We here. Conscious Heads Barber Boot Camp, making the necessary adjustments. Here to inspire people. This is what we do. Today, we're gonna do a little bit different. Brother Ricardo, Master Barber Ricardo, is going to interview me today, and that's how we're gonna do it. So, I hope y'all enjoy. Hope you inspired, and yeah, let's roll.
I want to say what's up to everybody. Like you said, I'm Master Barber Ricardo. I once was a sensei of the. No, I was an apprentice of the most honorable. The sensei of the shape up, the most honorable Jabari Natur. But I'm here to get some questions in with our brother about his journey and success in this great craft that we partake in.
Doubt. Right.
So get started. How you get started?
All right, so I got started basically when I was in the 7th grade, and watching many people. Was a guy around the way. He was like a neighborhood bully. They used to cut hair. He used to cut people's hair all in the back of cut their names in the back of their head. Different designs and fading, and high top fades was out back then. And I just thought, man, I just kind of like looked at him like, man, he nice with this. He nice with this. And everybody would talk about how nice he was, and I started looking like, dang, man, he got skills. I don't know. It just inspired me to want to do stuff. It was another guy in my class during that time. His name was Brian, and actually he wound up getting killed that year. Actually in the 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? But he used to cut his hair in school. Coming in real tight fade. You know what I'm saying? real tight fade, and so I'm like, man, I could do this myself. Also, you know what I'm saying? So, I just kind of geared up, and I started to I started to think about cutting hair, and I got a pair of clippers. I didn't understand clippers at the time. We didn't have no YouTube out there, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't go to the barber shop a whole lot. I went every now and again. My mom would actually cut my hair sometimes, and she really didn't know what she was doing. But she was satisfactory with the family. Like my grandfather would have her cutting the uncle's hair. Everybody, hey, come on over that China, cut your hair. You know what I mean? And she did it. It was satisfactory. They liked it, but she would cut my hair down. Of course, it wasn't like a shape up and stuff like that. But I went to the barber shop every now and again. But I didn't know I had the clippers, didn't know what they was, and all of a sudden I started trying to do this shape up. I'm like, man, why is this not getting the line on here? You know what I mean? What's going on? Like, I didn't understand exactly what was going on. And so I then started to fade myself and start to see it had a level on there. I'm like, okay, this drops it lower. You know what I mean? This drops it high. And I would just think when I went to bed, like, how am I going? How can I make this happen? I could drop this down. I'm telling you, I would sit there and I would lay down and I would think about how to do this. I could do that. I see it was a guard on it, but I could put that on there and then I could do it. I had to think about this in my mind about what to do. Nobody telling me how to do it. No other barbers telling me how to do it. So I just kind of conceived it in my mind about the whole thing. So from there, I started cutting my hair myself. When I went to Hearn Run, then I went to Patterson, and I cut my hair all throughout high school. And then I cut people hair around the neighborhood. I would make money, different things. I had some victims there, some people that was very mad and angry because I thought that I could cut certain heads and people was mad, you know what I'm saying? I can remember, you know what I mean? But that taught me. Every victim, taught you how to get better. So, cutting hair, I'm coming through. I'm thinking I want to be a barber when I come out of high school, but I kept cutting my hair, you know what I mean? But just trying to figure it out. So I actually went to the police department. I didn't go in the police department. I went to the apprenticeship program and started doing that. So I went through that program. Then they just canceled the program, like in the midst of us doing the apprenticeship. I mean the police academy, the cadet program. So they just canceled it. And so next thing you know, I'm like, man, what am I going to do? So during that time, I started doing a little reading, little Malcolm X and different things. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I don't want to do that no more. I started working at everyone's place bookstore, black owned bookstore. And from there, I started getting in a little deeper into black consciousness and all. There was a man named Mr. Leon used to come in there, and he would become my master barber. And I asked him when he kept coming through, and we would talk, have good conversation. I said, next time he come in here, I'm gonna ask him if I could do an apprenticeship underneath him. And sure enough, he said yeah, said yes. And then from there, we was flying high. I was there at True Cuts Barbershop. That was my first barbershop on Charles Street, and I was there under Master Barber Leon. And from there, he's the master. He's my grandmaster. You know what I mean? That I pay respect to. And he took me under, and I said, if I get this skill, then I'm going to actually train other people on actually how to do it. Some things went on down there. I stayed down there for about 2 years. They had to leave, and I had to try to figure out what was I going to do at that point. So then I started looking for the space, what I mean, to open up a new spot. And so I came to 25th Street just looking one day. God brought me through here. I was looking, I'm like, man, it's a nice spot, but it wasn't laid out. It had carpet in it, it had walls in it and everything. And so I left out. I'm like, okay, it was nice, whatever. Mind you, the whole time I ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this was like me looking at stuff like for
Right.
what? I mean, logically, it didn't make sense, but I'm looking. Anyway, me and my mom, we riding maybe like 2 weeks later, we riding on 25th Street. I said, "Ma, there's a white guy outside." I said, "That's probably the guy that owned the building right there." She said, "You think so? You want to go talk to him?" I said, "All right." So she pulled over, and I went and talked to the guy, like, "Hey, man, I'm looking to try to open up a barbershop." And blah, blah. Okay, all right, yeah, fine. So then he rented me the building, but we found out as we started renting, as we went down to the zoning board, that we wasn't zoned correctly. So
Mm.
I came in the next week, and I got one of my friends to knock down all of the walls that
Right.
that was in the shop, but I had to stop because I might have to put the walls back up,
Right.
within the shop. So I'm like, man. So we went to this process that took us 9 months to get into this spot. You know what I'm saying? Before we got zoned correctly, so I had to fight. Many people told me, they said, man, even my lawyer, he said, why don't you just get a new spot? The zoning commission said, why don't you just get a new spot? And I'm like, no, I want this spot. This is what I want right here. Y'all trying to keep me away from here. Y'all trying to marginalize me. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, no, no. I want this spot right here. And I got obsessed with getting this spot because I think they told me that I couldn't get it and I wouldn't
Right.
get it. And I went and I presented all of this evidence. The planning commission during that time, they winded up uh I called him so much, and that's where I met Brother Carl Stokes, because I
Okay.
knocked on his door that day. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And he said, "I'll help you," and he helped me, man. I mean, so many different ways with the planning commission. They started to love me so much, but it was my work ethic, because I
Right.
called them all day long. And when I went down for my hearings and my zoning, they came out to support. And they was
Mm.
the number one people was like, "Nah, look, don't get. Why are you so obsessed with this building?" Da, da, da. And they all came out to support me. And when I got it, congratulations.
Yeah.
You work really hard. You deserve this. Like, we never thought that this was going to happen. So, that's how I got started. Here, when we came here as Conscious Heads Barbershop and Natural Hair Salon, and we had Conscious Views. It was called Conscious Views Bookstore at the bottom. So upstairs was the barbershop, downstairs was Conscious Views, and the whole thing was, if we can keep you here in the shop, then what I mean, we can you elevate your mind. We can get you downstairs to go downstairs and get some of those books. And we were doing some other things too and try to get you involved. So it was
Yeah.
all a movement, all about, us changing our minds, all about us doing better and making a way in the community for our
Right.
people.
Okay. So, how many years you been in the business altogether?
So I've been here at this location. We'll say, for all in all, 24 years this year. Be
Okay.
24 years. I've been cutting hair for like 35 years.
Mm.
Because my dad. So to go back, when I had to find some other victims.
Right.
Well, one guy, my first victim, he was kind of cool. I did something. I don't know what I did to his hair, but he was like cool with it. And then it was my dad, and then he let me cut his hair. I cut his hair, and he was very particular, very, very particular. But for whatever reason, I know I didn't do that great of a job on his
Right.
head. But I guess it was like, you know what,
Hung in
man?
there with
Yeah, he hung in there with me, and he kept letting me cut his hair. And then it got to the point where every time I came, I was like, "Hey, man, bring your clippers with you, man." And then he had all of the friends. "Hey, man, my son can cut your hair." So he had friends over there. I would cut the friends' hair and all those different things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So for about 35 years, he was my longest client ever. You know what I'm saying? But and then on top of that, my other one is my nephew. My nephew, who's my other Donald, is my other longest.
Oh, okay.
client ever.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. He
Okay.
was my other longest
Man.
client. Him and my father, because I cut his hair since he was a baby.
Mm.
And yeah, but that's pretty much how many years I've been in this, and it's been a while. But when I first started, as I said, even going into the barbershop under Mr. Leon, I didn't really. I thought I knew how to cut hair a little. I mean, I knew I had some stuff to learn, but I was like, man, I don't hardly know. You know what I mean? Like shaping
Yeah.
up. I started to learn the different kinds of clippers and shape up clippers, the different meanings of certain things, the guards, because I just kind of felt my way through. And
Right.
when I was in there learning from Mr. Leon, and then a brother named Dante Stokes, who started to teach me. He was a young barber also, but he taught me a lot of things and a lot of tricks, which I really appreciated. And so, yeah, man. I mean, so yeah, 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 yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. But so you say you've been here since 2000. So how you get the money to get up in here?
Yeah, again, yeah, as I started saying, I ain't have no ends. I ain't had no money. But what I had was courage. Had a lot of courage, dedication, and I had been doing events in this what you have Survivors Nation I'll talk a little bit about later, but I had been doing events, doing different things. So I got started to get a little buzz in the community, a little name.
Hmm.
So people would support me. So the number one supporter that I had was my mom. And man, I would say that, I mean, she really supported me. She really stepped up. I mean, she took, she would take out loans. My grandmother gave me a credit card to max out. I had uncles, my uncle Lamont, who came in and pretty much laid the blueprint for me, doing the floors and, further just put the stuff up running, the electric line. I mean, he did most of the work. My uncle Daryl came in.
Okay.
It was a family effort. It was a community effort, but if I needed to, I went to people and asked them for money. Like, hey, look, can you loan me this? Can you loan me that? Mr. Ray Haysbert, that was here, he was my business teacher. He would contribute into some things that we needed, air conditioners and different things that helped me get on my feet. But it was, I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, like, it was hard. It was like you wasn't gonna tell me no. Just like I fought for the building, it was
Yeah.
like you couldn't tell me that I was like nothing told me that I wasn't gonna get in there. So the odds was like I don't care. I'm getting in
Right.
the building. I mean, I'm that's gonna happen. Like so,
Right.
boom. I went here. Hey, look, I need this. Oh, I need this. Let me go talk to this person. Hey, look, can you loan me such and such and
Yeah.
such? I just didn't get. You know what I'm saying? And got those doors open because nothing could tell me that I wasn't. It wasn't gonna happen. I mean, when I'm a Taurus, that's what people say. You know what I mean? I'm stubborn when I do lock like a pit bull, I lock in, and
Yeah.
it's like you're not gonna stop me from doing it.
Relentless.
Relentless, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So you say the shop is a part of a movement. Like what movement?
Yeah, so I was saying Survivors Nation. That's where everything comes from. We still do lectures. We've done people like Dick Gregory, Sister Soldier, brother James Smalls. We've done a host of Dr. Burr Shango. I mean, like a host of other people, what I mean, in the community, Dr. Claude Anderson. And it's all about changing the mind. What I mean, if we could change your mind, then we can get you to become a part of this movement so that we can build come together and money pool and what I mean
Yeah.
and pool our resources together so that we can start to
Like a real community.
like a real community, get a business
Yeah.
here, business there. Start buying houses, start doing those different things. So it's about elevating the mind. If we could change your mind, and then we can get you involved, and then we got more family to come in. So man, look, I feel like, I've been dedicated to the community. When I speak about my mom, like for whatever reason, I was brought to this earth. I was given like the best mom ever, like ever, ever, ever. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like, so I always thought that I'm like, man, if she giving me this, I need to be able to give what she giving to me.
Right.
It was so many times, man, with friends of mine, I could tell you that I moved in friends of mine that needed somewhere to stay. My mom house was always the place. They would move in with her, they would move in with us. I'm like, Ma, we need to break just whatever I said or my sister said, what I mean,
Yeah.
she was gonna do that. And somebody was always moving in with my mom. But I feel like if I was privileged to have like the best mom on earth, I wanted to be able to share that with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now she's not here, what I mean, in the physical sense, what I'm saying, of the earth, but she's still with me every single day. And I still gotta represent and I still gotta do what I have to do for my community. So I want to give people what I was given, what I'm saying, from the light that I was given from her and continue to beam that light on the community. So that's what Survivors Nation was about. It was about giving information for inspiration for the purpose of elevation. So we did many rallies in the community. We had prison ministry uh that we had and you name it. We was there, what I mean,
Yeah.
food, clothing drives down to whatever. I mean, we did every kind of fundraiser that you can think of, skating,
Mm.
dinners, you name it. We
Yeah.
was involved. We was involved. Music, whatever it needed, whatever needed to be done.
Right.
That's what Soul Vibers Nation is about. So that's what the boot camp, and the whole barbershop come out of that thought. You know what I mean? But
Right.
the barbershop was always a recruiting ground for Soul Vibers Nation. You
Yeah.
know,
Because people always gonna need a haircut. So
always gonna need a
it's
haircut.
it's like I was saying last time. It's like almost like a hub for people, human interaction
Yeah.
to a degree.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you want to interact with different people in a barber
it's
shop.
definitely one of the most social places in our community
Right.
where you can come and get information, and you get that information, and we knew that. So we had two. We had the bookstore and we had the barbershop. But like I
Right.
said, we can hold you in that bookstore and that barbershop. We can get you downstairs to go get some books.
Yeah.
Dr. Francis Cress Wells and blah 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 blah.
Right.
Oh yeah, ISIS papers. We got that downstairs. And then
Yeah.
so it was all a part of, what I mean. So then after a while, somebody been coming for a minute, like, man, what I gotta do to join y'all
Right.
organization? Y'all, man, I really like what y'all doing.
Yeah.
Y'all doing a lot, Man, we had it, we educated so many people, so many young people. Some people would come in here and be quiet. You never even know that they was listening. And one time we had a lecture with Ray Haysbert and Jim Klingman, and Sunyata came up to me, brother Sunyata. He was one of the co-owners at the time, and he said, "Man, you wouldn't believe who gave us some money, who left something for us. The guy, he was leaving town, never talked anything. This real mild mannered person. He said, man, look, he wrote us a check for $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And said, man, I hope y'all be successful because he was moving to a whole nother state
Okay.
somewhere far. And he wrote us a check for $1,000. Man, I love what y'all do. I know I never participated in nothing, but I always come in there because I love what y'all do. And it was crazy. He was like, $1,000,
Right.
like,
Right.
so
You never know who listening
man, like
and
all through the
watching.
years and watching, yeah, all through the years, young people who I see, man, y'all ain't know, man, the stuff that y'all was saying was elevated. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. That's why I do
Yeah.
this. That's why I do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, inspiring people. That's what we want to do.
Right. Shoot. What's Nipsey Hussle say that like it's one of the highest human acts is to inspire.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's big.
yeah. That's what motivate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hear you talk about how like your shop went out of business and you came back to the location. You think you can talk about that?
Yeah, man. It was a dark time in my life. I mean, it's been, pretty hard times in my life. You know what I mean? Not a lot, not a lot, but that was a dark time in my life. It was like things just wasn't working out. There was a guy I owned this building early on, and I wound up getting in some trouble and I had to sell it to him. So through the years, I lasted like another 6 or 7 years. Me and the brothers, actually my brother Suniata, who was my first apprentice barber, who's now the master barber and the shop owner. Him and another brother. I mean, we had some things going on, and they wound up leaving and opening up their own shop. A couple other people left. You know what I mean? I wasn't really cutting hair like that during the time, and then I had to come back, and we struggled. We struggled to get people in the door. We didn't have the barbers. We didn't have a lot of the stylists and all. You know what I mean? It lasted like another 6 years or so. You know what I'm saying? Once they left, and then it's like, with the owner, because he only did this to hold it down for me so I can buy my building back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when it happened like that, you know what I mean? I went to him. I said, look, I know you've been trying to do this for me, but you gotta do
Yeah.
what you gotta do. Stuff ain't coming out. I don't know why it's not falling the way it's supposed to fall,
Right.
but it's just not. So eventually, he didn't still want to do it, but then he was like, "All right, look, I gotta do what I gotta do." I left for 2 years, and the surprising thing was when I left from here, I went to work at one place, and it was I'd never been in another place before besides Conscious Heads. Oh well, I had been at True Cuts. Yeah,
True.
it was the
Okay.
same thing. So I was just trying to figure out um what I was gonna do. But brother Sunyata had called me and said, "Look, man, I know we got some things going on, but if you need somewhere to work, come with me." And I'm like, "Nah, man, nah, I ain't doing that, man. You my student, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
plus, you know what I mean, we got this little thing going on or whatever." So I
Yeah.
went to work in this shop probably like a few days later, and man, I sat down. They had some crazy video on, some children was in there, and I'm like, "Man, what the heck is this?" You know what I'm saying? So I got up, somebody called my phone, I walked out the door, I stood outside. Then I went and got in my car. Then I drove down to my house. It wasn't that far away from me. And then I said, man, I'm never going back there again. I called Brother Sunyata, like, hey, look, you still got that spot available, man. You know what I mean? Because I knew that, coming out of Conscious Heads, that,
Right.
you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? That was a child of Conscious Heads. You feel what I'm saying? So I can go in there and I can work there and I will
Right.
be comfortable. and I was comfortable, even though we had like little
Little
vibe
rip,
there,
yeah,
but it wasn't. But it was nothing happened. You know what I mean? We
yeah,
was all good. It wasn't no beef, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool. I had to humble myself because now I got what I mean. But now during that time, man, I was going through divorce. I lost my shop. Then my cars got repoed, lost property. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a crazy time in my life, but I never stopped. I never stopped during that time we was doing Watoto from the Nile with my daughters. I was doing kale chips during that time, you know what I mean? Where we still came up with this kale chip recipe. So I still never stopped, even though it was a dark time in my life and things
right,
was going on. So yeah, went out of the shop, completely stripped this whole building down. I mean, nothing was left in here besides, the floor and the walls and stuff like that. Anything on that was attached to those walls, like exit
right.
signs, all of that kind of stuff,
Coming off.
gone, gone.
Dang,
Everything stripped clean, went out of
dang,
business, out of business.
dang. So when you came back, obviously you came back.
Yeah.
So, but how did you get the money?
So the guy who owned the spot, he was unable to sell it.
Okay,
The opportunity came back around. And we met. It was like, you want to try to do this again? At first, I was like, nah, because I was still hurt from losing all my stuff from before.
yeah,
So I'm like, man, I lost everything. Nah, nah, I ain't feeling this. And so then it was just kind of like the brothers had decided around the corner, brother Suniata and Dwelly, that they was going to leave and they was going somewhere else. And then I thought about, I said, man, I don't want to go nowhere else. You know what? The opportunity presented itself. I'm going back home. I'm going back to the headquarters. Mind you, again, I didn't have a dime, bro. I had just lost everything. But luckily, you know what I'm saying? I had, like I said, again, I had a beautiful mom who had recently had moved back with me, or
right.
moved back home with me. And she said, hey, look, you go work and build that shop back up. Don't worry about paying no bills here right now.
Mm,
So I didn't have to worry about
yeah,
paying bills at my house at the time. She allowed me to be able to put
yeah.
every dime that I
Pour in,
had
yeah.
here. So between that, doing my events, the lectures and all, you know what I mean? I was able to pull off some great lectures during that time, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then I made a list of 35 people that I went to them. Hey, can you loan me 200, 500? Can you loan me 1,000? Do you got, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I made a list and I ended up doing it that way. I raised about $5,000,
Mm,
you know what I mean? Just from making a list of people of my friends and my family. And like, hey,
okay.
look, I'm trying to go back. We came in here, we had two chairs, me and just two barbers and one stylist. And then one of the barbers bought us a TV. Then we had a TV. You know what I mean? Then somebody else bought, you know what I mean, and sold us a radio for cheap. Then we had a radio, and then we the mirrors. We didn't have the mirrors on the other side. Somebody, you know what I mean, and then we started to, what I mean, raise funds. But then I finally put together the barber and boot camp. And when I put together the barber and boot camp, that was the thing that actually really took things over the top.
Okay.
It was like I tried it out, you know what I mean? It worked okay. And then I made the necessary adjustments to it. And then it wound up doing great. It started doing some great things. Not making a whole lot of money from it, but it was like, okay, all right. So I wound up, hooking up several classes and man, you know what I'm saying? And so, we were here, we started the money just started to come, people started to come, more barbers, the energy just started to change, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, for me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and that's why I can't people can't tell me nothing about the, what things look like because I built this. Like if you looked at it on numbers and like you would look at me and be
Right.
like, Jabari, you ain't got no money, bro.
Right.
how
Yeah.
you gonna build
It's
how you gonna build this up? You don't, bro. It don't make sense. Like on paper, look, bro. You this negative. You don't in your bank account. You ain't got no money. You don't have this. You know what I'm saying? And so that never scared me. Especially when I locked down. I was like, I'm
right.
back and I'm building this back up. I built the barber and boot camp as a protection, not something that Madam C.J. Walker and Annie Malone, was that Annie Malone? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah,
Animal.
Annie Malone would build. They trained up stylists and they
Yeah.
trained up those their own. So my thing was, if I can train up my own barbers, I would never be in a situation that I was in before when all of the barbers left and I had to put signs in the window, barbers wanted,
Right.
and all those things. But I could always have a pool of barbers, just like McDonald's. People fill out them applications, they got
Yeah.
a pool that they can go through. Up,
Yeah.
that person quit. Let me plug this person in. Oh, that person quit. Let me plug this person in. So if I can make this come to reality, you know what I mean, and train people to the point where they can just at least cut hair, you know what I mean, on a minimal basis, then I can put the system in that so I would never be in that situation where I'm
Right.
just like hungry for barber. So hungry, I'm ready to
Right.
snatch somebody off the street and just bring them in here. You like let anybody cut hair. And so the barber and boot camp actually, really saved the whole program, saved everything because you being a part of it,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody.
And I watched the progression.
Right. You watched it, yeah, because you was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying when we was coming
I was
back and
early
everything.
on.
Yeah, yeah, you was there when we was
I was
coming
like the
back.
second class.
You was like the second, yeah, like the second class that was
Okay.
coming in. So you was
Yeah.
there and watched everything as we was
Yeah.
rebuilding. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't easy. You know what I'm saying? We had some hard times. We
Nah.
had some little things that happened in the midst of all of that stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But we kept pushing through and we got through. I ain't been perfect. Things ain't been perfect, but we work hard and dedicate and just with dedication,
Yeah.
man.
And you
Yeah.
build it as you go.
Yeah, build it as you go. And that's why, what I mean? Like nobody can tell me, what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you out of it. You ain't got a chance. You ain't got
Right.
this. Like, no. If you believe in your heart, you know what I'm saying? If you believe, like the Matrix say, like
Yeah.
that you the chosen one, that you know what I mean, that nah, I'm gonna do this. Just when I used to do lectures,
Yeah. Spirit is strong. Definitely
Spirit is
strong.
strong, definitely strong.
Yeah.
I would set up a whole event. Dick Gregory. I would set the whole event. I had the place, I had brother Dick Gregory, and I had everything else lined up, the whole event.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, all right, how am I gonna pay for this?
Right.
I set the whole event up, but didn't have no money, didn't have a dime to do it. But it never mattered because I knew, like, okay, how am I gonna pay for this? Oh, okay, let me get
Yeah.
busy. Let me
But that's
call
the
such and such.
whole, what they call it, acting as if.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
Stepping out
yeah,
on faith
yeah,
where like even I think even Dr. King say like you just if you might only see one step, but you just take that step.
yeah,
And then eventually when you take that step, you'll see another one and another one. And a lot of times we look at what they say, we look at success like a highway full of green lights.
yeah,
You know, we think
yeah,
all of the lights supposed to be green before you can take off and you never get nowhere like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, and that's what it's all about, man. So I'm not a person that what I mean that talk that gloom and doom stuff. You know what I mean about what we can't do and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got my challenges, but when I'm locked like a pit bull,
Yeah.
it's on and popping.
Yeah, and that's life though.
Yeah,
Challenges. It's the ebb and flow. You know, sometimes you up, sometimes you down, but
yeah,
you keep going, and then when it's all said and done, you way further than where you were. And if nothing else, you got the experience and the knowledge to pass on to the next generation, so they can avoid some of those pitfalls. So sometimes you know what they call it. You the first one over the hill, and you come back with the arrows in your back.
yeah,
But at least you letting people know
yeah,
what's over the other side.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
No doubt, no doubt.
But, so let's talk about this bill. You know, we got passed or whatever for the
Yeah,
barbers,
yeah. So as as we had
aspiring barbers.
the barber and boot camp, and Brother Ricardo was with me as we actually did this, and so we got a whole lot. I would go to these meetings, and everybody be fussing like, "Man, why can't we have more than one barber? That's crazy!" Blah 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 blah. And they be in there kicking the doors down and doing all kinds of stuff. And one day I just raised my hand. I said, "So what can we do to actually change that? Is there anything that we can do?" And they said, "Well, that's something that happens down in Annapolis. You got to go to Annapolis for that." I'm like, say no more. I had a brother Davon Love, who was my client, and I came in that day. He's into politics very heavy. And I'm like,
Shout out to Davon.
yeah, shout out. And I'm like, bro, what do I need to do to get this law changed? I'm trying to get, get more barbers to because I only could do my only thing, I only could do one at a time. And so that was stopping me from being able to bring people on.
Right.
So he said, man, that should be something easy though. He told me to contact Sister Delicate Cheryl Glenn at the time. So we started going with her. So I thought it was gonna be something hard. I'm like, man, it's gonna take years and it's gonna take a lot of money. How are we gonna do this? Like, no, man, it ain't that. You just contact your delegate and put, what I mean, get the bill put in. And
Yeah.
she put the bill in. House Bill 1021. My mama's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought I was like, oh man, you ain't gonna believe what this bill is. 1021. She's like, I can't believe that. Put it in. We put the bill in, but some of the wording was wrong, and the state board didn't record. It was like, no, they was telling me what the bill meant, and I'm like, no, I'm not want to put it. And so she had went through some personal problems during the time, so she wasn't able to go and file and make sure that it went through correctly. So we couldn't do it then. Next year we go back, we put it through brother Kurt Anderson, and then it became House Bill 1041. Put it on the table. Now during that time, that's when COVID kicked in and boom, knocked every bill off the table. Nope, not that year again. You know what I mean? So then Delegate Stephanie Smith the following year will put the bill back in, and it became House Bill 1317 during the time, House Bill 1317, and we had the wording right, and sure enough, the bill got passed, and the bill went in effect October in October 2000, October 21.
Yep.
So again, that's 1021, my mama's birthday. You know what I'm saying? So all that numerology and energy all around there. You know what I mean? So the bill went in effect 1021, and from the original 1021 bill. So yeah, man. So we got a bill change. So now you can go, you can have not just one apprentice barber, but you can have um three apprentice barbers to one master barber now. So you can have, you know what I mean? So we got that. We did that for the whole state of Maryland, man. We did that for the whole state of Maryland. So y'all take advantage of that and teach these people, teach these young boys out here, these young boys and these young girls, because now it's set up. So you ain't got to go complaining, because you could take three at a time now.
3 at a time.
Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
Tell me about some other successes you done had,
Yeah. Man. I mean, man, I done trained more. I mean, and I say this, and I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I've trained more barbers in the state of Maryland under apprenticeship than anybody has. Under the apprenticeship logo. I got three master barbers underneath of me. That's epic. Right now, and it's going to keep coming, because this is a movement. Barber and boot camp. We building the barber and boot camp army. This is a movement. So I got three master barbers that's under me right now. I got regular, journeyman barbers that's under me. I mean, that's finished right now. I got other apprentice that's in there. Now I got other apprentice that's starting to go under master barbers that I train. It's a movement, man. It's each one teach one. So we all gotta teach. So so I'm proud. Some of my barbers now, I'm saying, a few of them now own their own barbershops. Very successful barbershops also.
Yep.
So I mean, so we building. It's a movement, and I'm proud of everybody that that came under me, came through. And like I said, but this ain't no ego with me. But man, I feel great when I see my people doing well. This is a win-win situation for me.
Plus, you provide opportunities.
Yeah.
You giving legitimate ways for brothers to feed their families,
Yeah.
sisters as well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's big within itself. Especially the way we talk about the lack of opportunity. So to make the sacrifice to provide them, because you could have easily been on some, I'm only hiring licensed barbers. The hell with training them, because one, that requires patience. A whole lot of patience, a whole lot of trial and error. Where if you wanted to just run a straight up and down business where you get nothing but licensed barber, you can care less about a bill. That you could have had that as well. It could have been a little harder, but it would have been less of, I guess you could say, a burden on you.
Yeah.
But a burden you bed for the sake of people like myself and others to come through, and that's I'm grateful for that as well.
I mean, I've benefited, man. I've met some great people, man. You know what I mean? These same people that have taught me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So these people have taught me. I go, a lot of times I do stuff. I come to you for advice.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? What you think about that? Because what I mean, you wind up being a teacher to me at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win situation. You know what I mean? So it's like you give the people, you know what I'm saying, and and they wind up giving back. You feel what I'm saying? And it's a win-win situation. So I mean, man, I'm appreciative of all of y'all. Every brother that we have down on the floor, you know what I mean, that's down there, man, because you know what I mean, special people down, special people that we got working with us, man.
Yeah, definitely. But what's the difference between a hair cutter and a barber?
Yo, I want to say this to all the barbers that's out there. That's unlike that, the hair cutters that's out there right now. Hair cutters and hair cutter, you just basically putting hair on the floor, dropping hair on the floor. You're doing some sprays and stuff like. You might be wearing your black gloves and stuff like that, because that's what they do
your ring
on
light.
YouTube. Your ring light, gotta have a ring light and black gloves and some spray.
Charging a day's pay.
Charging $1 million for a haircut. Like yo.
No knock to your hustle.
No knock. Get your license though.
Yeah, that's all.
Get your license. Join the fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Come join for real. You know what I mean? Like we can't treat this thing like a get over. Like, stop trying to get over. We can't just get over on stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like cutting corners. You have to learn stuff that's in that handbook.
Yeah.
About sanitation. about socialization, about different things that
The
you need to
history.
know, the history.
Yeah.
But we all had to go through and had to know. And I cut hair better than a licensed barber, and you might cut hair
Yeah.
better. I mean,
Congratulations.
yeah, hey, but that's not what barbering. Like I'm trying to teach people to be barbers, man. And a barber is different elements, just like hip hop. Barbering is socialization. There's the licensing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's the community activist part of the whole thing. You know what I mean? When
Spiritual
you
part.
had the spiritual part, when you are actually cutting somebody's head, you are over top of their head, their crown
Crown chakra.
chakra,
Yeah.
what they call it, putting energy on people. People
Yeah.
respect you. There's the counselor that you are. You are
Yeah.
man. We were doctors. You go back to ancient Egypt, and you know what I'm saying. Even going through Europe and all those different things, we were pulling teeth. We were doing operations.
Yep.
You know, like this craft is serious, man. It ain't no hustle. It ain't no get over. I've used the craft and done some things trying to get over here and there and all that kind of stuff. That's why I'm speaking to you so serious right now. This got to be treated just as people treat the field of work that they in, being
Yeah.
doctors, being
Lawyers.
lawyers,
Nurse
everything. We got to
practitioners.
put,
Yeah.
come on, we got to put some respect on barbering.
Yeah.
So, yo, we love y'all barbers that's out there, man. Look,
Yeah.
look, man, look, we done
Listen.
certain things. Look, ain't
And
no,
we proud of what the strides y'all making.
yeah,
It's
man.
just that, there's still a way to go about doing things. That it's not saying that you can't do what you already doing. It's just like, how about just crossing a couple T's and dotting a couple I's,
Yeah,
And it's really, the test, is worth taking. It's not like you passing a bar or something like that. It's you put some time in the study, you're gonna pass it. But like he said, it's not just about cutting hair. If you
yeah,
look at the practical part of the test, there's 5 parts. Only 2 of them got to do with hair.
yeah,
The other 3 has to do with sanitation, man.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, man, just stop basically like I said, it's all love here. So if y'all want to get your license, those people that's listening out there, don't hate me like, man, he hating. Yo, holla
No.
at your boy, holla at us.
Yeah.
We can help
There's
you.
no hate.
You know what I mean? Ain't no hate, man. We got love. We just saying that we want you to be, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? We want you to be licensed. You know what I mean? Now, yeah, I'm telling you, man, you get that license, you gonna be like, yo, that's the best thing I ever did. And you really gonna know that you in for real. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of your paperwork correctly, making sure your paperwork is straight. So, like Madam CJ Walker and all those people, you know what I mean? Annie Malone and all those different people, and my man, what's his name? The barber.
Oh, Alonzo Hearn.
Alonzo Hearn, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These people took care of their paperwork, man.
Yeah.
Their stuff was straight. The taxes, the banks was coming to them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, do you need some money to open up another spot? Do you need
Yeah.
some money to do this, to do that? So as much as we running and hiding and like, yo, I ain't gonna pay this and pay that. If you
Yeah.
got your stuff straight, you can be open, man. Like focusing on opening up a chain of barbers. Man, look, some of y'all can cut hair great, but
Yeah.
now we got that law change for you. You know what I'm saying? Get some people and put them under you. Put those people under you. Each
And pay
one
it
teach
forward.
one.
And pay it forward.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, look, give back to the community. Don't just, you know what I mean, the skills you got, take it to the grave.
Yeah.
Y'all got these skills, gonna take the skills to the grave. Ain't gonna teach nobody else how to do what you doing. Yeah, some of y'all cut. I see some of that work. I'm like, man, that's awesome. That's
Phenomenal.
amazing. You know what I mean? A phenomenal work. You all doing great work. But be a part of the movement, man. Let's link up. Barber and hair cutter. That's the difference. You know what I mean?
But let me add to that.
Yes, sir.
Just a prime example of how you could have benefited from being a licensed barber. Granted, some of y'all probably weren't cutting at the time, but COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When COVID,
Yeah.
had you been a licensed barber, you would have been able to draw unemployment.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's just on the low end of how you could have benefited from being licensed.
You had to present that license.
Yeah.
And they was giving some lovely chunks of money, man, during that time. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't think they was gonna do it. And it was like, man, we needed it. And a lot of us who was shop owners and all, we weren't making no money. We weren't making no ends, And man, yeah. So man, get the license, man. We love y'all. We love y'all out there. But yeah, get that
No
license though.
shade.
Yeah.
Just encourage.
No doubt.
Yeah. So how you done, money wise in this field?
Yeah, financially. So man,
financially.
I say this, man. Probably like my students and them people who got their shops and them probably made a lot more money than I have. I have been the sacrificial
Man, yeah,
lamb, you know what I'm saying, of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, always starting things
yeah,
and doing things where a lot of my barbers, man, be, you know what I'm saying, like be getting that money. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And getting it. I've done fairly well on some properties. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? It's been tough off and on, you know what I'm saying, ups and downs,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean, on some
nature of the business.
properties, yeah, and uh 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 been able to pay, maybe reach up in the triple figures, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, here and there, you know what I mean, not all the time, you know what I'm saying, but able to do that.
right.
But as we go and we grow, you know what I'm saying, I'm
Yeah.
striving to crack that millionaire
Oh
status, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying,
Oh yeah.
you know
It's
um
definitely possible.
yeah, you know what I mean. So that's what we're going to do, because we're going to take this model. It's a movement. We gonna open up shops here, there, different countries,
Schools.
yeah, schools, you know what I mean, that's coming soon, so yeah, we're gonna crack that, but not for me to be riding around with no big fancy cars, although I'm gonna have a fancy car. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Hey
saying?
man,
I
I
don't care
love
what y'all say. I am not gonna be riding. No, I'm gonna ride in fancy cars. I'm going, you know what I
it.
mean, and have slick stuff. I don't care. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have that. But no, it's not just for that. It's for my people, so I can do more stuff. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we can do more. You know what I'm saying? The more money, more finances or wealth that we get,
Yep.
we can dump
Strong
it
our
in.
community.
That's right. We can put it into the community
Yep.
and help. That's what I get my
Yeah.
biggest thing. That's why I said, I told you a lot of my barbers made more money than I did.
Right.
I mean, but
But
that
you
that
created the
makes, yeah,
opportunity for them
exactly.
to do it.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's a flex within itself.
Yeah.
Where you got a
Yeah.
lot of barbers that's they getting some money, but like like they say, you only as successful as the next person you can make successful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and with that, you already a millionaire when it comes to that several times over because you got a lot of haircutters out there
Yeah.
that's just off the self.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So this is like I said, we barbers, man, and that's the movement. Conscious heads,
Yeah,
barbering boot camp, and like I said, we do the boot camp, even though it's the boot camp that we actually do where we train people, but the barbering boot camp that we constantly keep learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
yeah,
always in the boot camp of learning. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And constantly getting information and knowledge and information, and that's why all this, even this podcast is the barbering boot camp, that we bring you different barbers, and we continue to bring you barbers and hairstylists, estheticians, and
yeah,
all, you know what I'm saying, that we're gonna bring to keep motivating you, because it's some awesome people that's in our
yeah,
community
yeah,
that's doing awesome work, and people that I look up to that I want to bring to you.
yeah.
And soon you'll see these things will be all over the internet, and people will be getting inspired from them, man.
That's also the beauty of the shop and not the suite too,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
it's the camaraderie
yeah,
and the
yeah,
what they call a steel sharpening steel. Where we keep each other sharp, whether it's on our haircuts, we watching each other get better, so it makes us want to step our game up. In other words, like when we get to debating and talking about world affairs and stuff like that, making sure you know what you're talking about, making and also making us each other better as men.
yeah,
We all got wives or girlfriends
yeah.
and children and stuff like that. So just that atmosphere, just of becoming a better man and striving to represent the shop as a man amongst black men in our community.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, we talk about the debates and stuff, and we do the podcast, and I'm letting people now see what it is to be in the barbershop,
Yeah,
because what I mean, because what we saying is we have to educate our people, and although we get in there and we get the sparring back and forth and we debate, it's about us getting information that's going to make us check
yeah,
some things out. Like, dang, he said that, I didn't even know that. Let me go back and check on that and all.
yeah,
But it's about the experience of education, man. Look, we don't just come in these
and that's
shops and
good
talk
too.
about, me, yo, that girl, man, she
Right,
fine, and man, what's the name, got shot last night, and this, that,
right,
and the other. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we talk about all that too. You know what I mean? But man, it's way deeper, and it's
yeah,
about us getting the information and knowledge, and that's why, what I mean, I'm focusing, trying to do something else, even with these podcasts and these videos and stuff that we putting out, so people can see all over the world that it's bigger than just hair
yeah,
cutting. It's about a movement that we
yeah,
actually have. So all the people that I do the podcast with, that we even do at Conscious Heads, is barbers that come out the boot camp.
yeah,
But very intelligent and smart brothers who now, what I'm saying, like my mind, they'll know I'm focused on, like, no, we're gonna get this up. And this is gonna be a part of what we do to help us build with the information and all. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that's where my mind has been, and that's why we've been putting this stuff up like that, because we gotta get that information part inside of the barbershop.
yeah. And to watch healthy discourse amongst brothers and sisters
Yeah,
that disagree with each other, because
yeah,
a lot of times we don't know how to do that,
yeah,
and that can be educational within itself.
yeah,
Just watching a healthy back and forth without it becoming, crazy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
definitely. Because I mean, we'll go at it. I mean, we'll
Yeah,
go at it like you know what I mean, like
yeah. No blows
yeah,
getting
yeah, yeah,
thrown
yeah.
or nothing
And then at
like
the end of
that.
the day,
It's
somebody
respectful. We dap it up
yeah,
and we go, go our separate ways.
end of the day, somebody gonna get some food. Hey man, you want something from the store?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like nothing happened. You know
could
what I
have
mean?
just been at each other's
Yeah,
throats
just been at it.
5 minutes ago.
But we back at it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But man, it's love. So yeah, man, and that's how it's supposed to be. You know what
yeah,
I mean? We talk. You know what I mean? We enjoy
yeah,
each other. That's what this is all about. The other thing is, man. I want to say too, you know, what I mean, a lot of people hit me up like, man, I want to do this. I want to join your barbering boot camp because I want to be a boss. I want to do this. I want to own my own. I want to have my own. Because when you a barber, you're an independent contractor. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You really work for yourself. But everybody ain't made for this, and I'm gonna say, you know what I mean? I'm gonna say that
yes,
everybody ain't made for this because
yes,
you have to discipline yourself as a boss. You
yes,
feel what I'm saying? You could tell them
yes,
you got people that want 6 o'clock appointments. You got to get up and be in there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
You got to discipline yourself. It's about that. You can This ain't no overnight. I want to be my own boss, and then you sorry you supposed to be at 6 o'clock, but you coming in 6:30. You coming in 7. Look, I'm talking.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying. But no, when you starting
Nah,
out, you know what I mean. When you're doing it, you gotta be disciplined. So being a boss, you gotta pay the cost.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Though you ain't got nobody cracking the whip on you, but you gotta crack the whip on
yourself.
yourself. That's a
Harder than your
whole
9 to 5.
that's hard. You know what I mean? And
Harder
that's
than
and
your
that's
nine to
hard.
five
So it ain't easy that
at
you
all.
thinking you just laying home scratching. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this series right here
Yeah,
and then
nah.
get up and yeah, then I'm gonna
Smoke a
go,
blunt.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
smoke and then I'm gonna go in and all that kinds of
yeah,
no, 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 no. You got to be disciplined because you
yeah,
work for these people.
yeah.
You
You
know what I
really
mean?
work. Your
Yeah.
customer is the
Yeah,
boss.
they the boss.
Because without a customer, you have no income.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the true boss.
yeah,
We all
yeah.
work for somebody.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, yep. So yeah, that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. So yeah, man. So that we appreciate, what I mean, and hope y'all enjoy this right
No
here. And
doubt.
we're gonna keep inspiring people and keep this information coming. So check it out, share it, and we're gonna keep coming back at you. Check
Yep.
out the one we did with Ricardo, and
Yeah.
actually we got more to come with bro Ricardo. You know what I mean? He got a lot of inspirational joints that we're gonna be doing, adding on, and he'll be conducting a lot of these different interviews with people, barbers and all from all over the world, all over the, all over the world. That's what the whole thing is. All right.
Yep.
So man, love y'all, man. Peace.
Peace.